Hi, welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses. Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to carry on our conversation about when things go wrong. So we were having a look at some of the causes of that, or things that aggravate it. And today we're going to look at solutions, more specifically preparation. So in the times when things are good and calm and everything's going well, that's when we can really reinforce and keep practicing our basics and get them really as fine and working beautifully as we can. So it's really just a breath, a thought, a feeling for our horse to respond. And of course, the more we get that working, the more it's going to work when we have a stressy situation. And the deeper, we make that connection and that relationship, the understanding, the communication between us and our horse. And that, of course, is the thing that's going to make the difference when there's a difficulty or a problem or a stress coming along. So the very basic things being instant forward motion. When we say go, does our horse listen? Does he go? Is he responding to that easily and smoothly and willingly? So that's an important one to work on. For everything, that's obviously the base of everything, isn't it? Number one rule, free forward movement. But when there's a spooky or a thing, we have to have that accelerator gear nice and smooth. That when riding, that the number one thing about that is about the legs. That our legs are loose and light and floppy, and it's our energy, our feeling, and that's enough for our horse to go. We can add a bit of leg if we need it. This video is not about the basic aids. It's just to make the point of putting in this preparation, and it's so worthwhile because not only for the difficulty, it's the base of everything else that we're going to build. So, the better our go aid is, the better our stop aid is. Those two things are connected. When we work on one, we get the other one better. So the stopping, I like to think of that just as if I was walking on the ground and I'm going and my energy and I'm moving, and when I want to stop, I stop. So that would be my first thing to my horse, would be to stop moving with the horse, whether, on the ground or on top. When we're on top, to stop, obviously with a breath, my other favourite tool. So we bring our energy, our breath, down into the moment, into that place. And we can engage our core, we can close our thighs around the horse to help that feeling of staying still. I prefer the one of just tipping the pelvis back, keeping the legs relaxed, and then the horse knows when your pelvis is back and down that there's nowhere to go. And then just the bringing the pelvis up, sending our energy forward, is enough of an aid to ask the horse to go. We also need to teach them with the rein. So you can experiment, try with those things. How much does your horse listen to your seat only? How much do they listen to the rein? Do you need a combination of both those things? And, practice that first in an easy situation. And if it's not working, make it easy for the horse. Ride towards the wall or the fence. And as you get there, half halt, prepare to stop, and stop. And of course, the fence or the wall is there to help you. And once the horse really gets that and understands, then do it in different situations. Try it in a shoulder in. Do it in situations where your horse maybe doesn't want to stop. Once you've got it working where it's easy for him to say yes, him or her, obviously. And then the turning. So, that is a very important one. When we were a kid, we were always taught if the horse runs away, you turn. And I can remember doing that. We used to get on one rein and pulling away such naughty ponies. So a one rein stop, I prefer to say it as a smooth turn into that rein. A one rein stop, you have to be very careful that you don't, if you just haul on that rein, you can actually tip the horse over. which would not be a good thing. And of course they can just lock up and turn their head and not listen. So again, it's very important to teach them this, and it's a very useful learning. So to go on a circle, you know, and bringing around and asking for the bend, asking for the bend, asking for the bend, and give the edge to stop and let the horse come to a halt. Of course, the turning is, you know, it's that teaching them to putting their flexing, bending, however you want to call it, that we teach them with a very slight aid of the rein or the rope to turn their head around, you know, and that's part of the turning. You know, we want them to look where we're going, and then having the forward movement. So when we've got those two things working, we put them together, we get lovely smooth turns. As in the stopping and the going with the energy and listening to the body, same in the turning. You know, if I'm on the ground and I'm going to turn, I turn like this. So I turn, you know, from my centre of my body. I like to say, you know, use your 4 eyes. So your eyes and your nipples as you turn. And it's like opening a door. So if I was turning that way, you know, it's a feeling of opening. So the hand position's important, that you go out towards where you're going if you really need extra for turning, you know, that it's not a backward movement, which would obviously be putting on the brakes, that is an opening out and an opening, a feeling of the leg and the hip to encourage the horse to go in that direction. And this is a really fun one to practice if you have a place with random things you can go around. I'm lucky my neighbour's got an olive grove with just nice space between the trees, and I can practice, you know, going in and out the trees, feeling how much I can get that turning working without using the reins. And of course you're always ready there with the rein to use it when you need it. And that brings us to the timing. So really important for the turning, and especially if you had to do that when the horse didn't want to go with you, is that the moment you're going to ask to turn is the moment the opposite foot is on the ground. So basically, say you want to turn to the left, as the right foot's on the ground is the moment the left foot's coming up off the ground. So that's the moment you can place it over more in a different place, isn't it? As it's about to come up. Otherwise the horse would have to take a step and then be able to respond to your ask. So I think it's really a great preparation, like I said, in everything we do, but especially for when things don't go, you know. We often see people with their horses, and when everything's calm and nice and at home, the horse is fine about things. But when there's a stress or you're away from home or something goes wrong, they maybe don't listen and respond so much. So building these basics and really refining that to just a tiny whisper, you know, while always listening, watching your horse's expression, you know. So perfecting these things, it's, like I said, it's about the depth of our relationship. So we can really also, apart from the response, we can work on them all, having them all with a nice expression. I'm very busy with this with Morisco because he took on a lot of my stress and shit going on, of course. My responsibility. So I'm very busy with trying to repair that and make his expression nicer and softer. You know, even though he listens and he'll stop, go, turn very easily, I would like it to be with a much softer expression. So we can always, it's infinite, I think, how far we can take this work, and it's a great work for everything. So, you know, you could even get creative and add things in if you think, oh, well, this is all working really well, you know, we'll put a plastic bag on the fence, or wait till some crazy neighbour's doing something that you know would spook your horse, and then you can try out how much will they still stay with me and listen when things are not okay, when there's stress. You know, stress can often take us and the horse back to old habits and old ways. So thank you very much for listening to me today. Next time we're going to talk about our part in it, which of course is really the number one thing. So have a great day, keep tuning into the light, and I'll see you next time.